Oh my gosh, what a way to win a match. Holy crap. That was insane. Hello and welcome, guys. We are back here for a new league, and for this league, I decided to put out a poll both on the YouTube community and on Twitter. And as you can see, the results were overwhelmingly in favor of playing Amulet today. On Twitter, Karn Amulet was the deck of choice, but by the YouTube poll, it was actually stock Amulet. And so I ran the numbers and found that out of a total of 67 people who voted for Amulet, 40 of those voted for the stock list between the two polls, and only 26 of them, 27 math, voted for the Karn list. So, of course, that is going to be what's getting the nod today. We are playing what I would consider to be a stock Amulet list. We're playing 2 Azusas and 2 Explorers, just the clean 2-2 split. In the main, we're playing some Colossus and some Turn Timbers, but we're not going all in on it. And we have multiple copies of Colossus to go over the top of our control opponents, or opponents doing things that involve Solitude. We have a third copy of Boseiju in the sideboard, but in the main, we kind of have a split of 2 Boseiju, 2 Garenbrig. We've got a total of 3 Cavernous Souls, which is not super crazy to me. In fact, I would argue that the only flex slots in this deck list are the second Azusa, the Relic of Progenitus, one of the Dismembers, and that's probably about where I would leave it. Those are the only things that I would really change from this list, personally, but of course, your mileage may vary. And of course, we're rocking some Sagas today. We're just doing the normal Amulet thing, and yeah, not much introduction is needed for that. So, without further ado, wait, you thought I was going to say let's jump into the matches, but no, look at this unfortunate data. 0% of you watching this right now are subscribed. 0. Don't look too hard into the details. That's a fact. Don't even try to fact check it. So, subscribe. Alrighty, let's hop in here for match 1. Playing the stock list. Let's go. On the play, heck yeah. We got a turn 1 Saga hand. We're missing a bounce land, but we've got multiple ramp creatures, and we'll have an Amulet on turn 3 thanks to the Saga. So if we top deck a bounce land, we'll be able to play probably Dryad and Azusa on turn 2. Possibly even Titan on turn 3. Possibly even Titan on turn 3 thanks to packing for a Grazer. And I'm definitely going to keep this. Worst case scenario, we fetch up the Expedition map and set up a bounce land that way, and then we just ramp the hard way. Our opponent mulligans to 5. Could this be a Tron matchup, or just an unfortunate opponent? One of those two. Guess it could be like Bogles or something. Boggles, however you want to say it. They also mulligan quite vigorously. We're going to go ahead and lead on Saga here. There's some possibility that leading on Saga is a little bit worse against like a control deck or whatever, but I'm not super worried about it. Seachrome Coast passed. Hey, there's our bounce land, so that's fantastic. I guess we just play out the T-West. I mean, there's some argument to maybe wanting to keep this in hand, but yeah, let's just not show it to our opponent. It doesn't really matter either way. I guess if they were to exile our Saga, then potentially playing out the forest is worse, but like we can always just bounce land, pick up the forest. So, I don't know. If they could deal with our Saga somehow. They have Saga. So, maybe a Hammer deck? Definitely could be. Stoneforge Mystic, let's see if they get the Hammer. That is gigantic for revealed cards. They get Cauldra. So still not obvious whether this is Hammer or like a blue-white Urza deck, but regardless. We'll float. So Amulet is 4, 5, 6, Titan. We can go 6 down to 3 up to 5, pack for second Grazer, and have Dryad into Titan. Interesting. Well, we're definitely going to go and get Amulet here. Do we want to get the Dryad into play before? Let's see, we go... At all the end of that, we'll have Simic in play. We resolve Titan, get land, pick up a land, we attack. We don't even get Valcut triggers. Interesting. We could maybe play Dryad second main phase, and not have to Summoner's Pact. That way they could potentially deal with our Titan and we'd have a backup. That makes sense to me. We like play Titan, haste it, attack, get bounce land, Valcut, pick up like forest or something. That makes sense to me. And we are facing down a Cauldra, but we're not really super worried about that. Play Grazer. Play Azusa. Just lots of clicking and triggers. We'll leave the bounce land in play, though, since we're going to pick up a bounce land with our attack trigger anyways. And here we get Garrison Slayers. We're going to haste our guy and go to town. Boom. Pick up the Stronghold. Then we'll go to combat attack. Get Valakut bounce land, pick up, I guess, the Boros Garrison. And there's some argument to maybe going for Boseiju here, but I'm not really scared of what our opponent could have here, so they take 8. Glorious. And here's a Dryad. And I guess we'll just play Forest. I don't really know if there's a reason to do one thing or another here. They have a Sagan too. Oh no! Giver. That is not going to be good enough. Okay, I guess we just slam another Titan here. That way, if they have Path for this one, I mean, we can still go ahead and play Stronghold and get value and get some Valakuts into play. That way we can even attack with the other Titan, but yeah. that was pretty good. We saw Giver as well. Giver runes makes me inclined to believe our opponent's more likely to be on a blue-white hammer strategy, actually, but not 100% sure. We're going to want Forces and Dismembers and Boseiju. Endurance is not the worst, but it's kind of just a 3-mana blocker, so I don't know that I love it that much. We can trim on Colossus and Turn Timbers, since this is not really a grindy matchup. We can trim 1 Cavern, as I don't expect much counter magic, at least for our creatures, versus them. They could have, like, March of Otherworldly Light or something for our Saga, which is something to consider. I don't think that we want to trim them because of that, though. Maybe Colossus is not necessary in this matchup. Unless they have Solitude, in which case we might be bringing a Colossus back. Explorer is a little against what we're trying to do here, and plays into Esper Sentinel, so probably can go without that one. I'm tempted to cut the 3rd Cavern as well, to be honest. I think it's the most flex slot here. Yeah, I'm just going to cut the Caverns entirely. We're going to get punished by this if our opponent is playing more of a counterspell, like controlling deck, but I don't really feel like that's likely with Giver of Runes. I don't really know, though. And we got another 0 bounce land hand. We technically have Boseiju to interact, and we do have a Titan, but we don't have bounce land. We don't have any way to get quick Titan mana. I feel like it's okay to mulligan this one. Yep, this hand is much better, so we'll definitely keep it. And we're just bottoming the pact here, as we already have everything we need. We got the Amulet, the Ramp Creature, and the Titan, so looking pretty good. Opponent leads on Sigarda's 8, so it was a hammer deck. Alright, we'll play Saga Amulet. And pass to our opponent. See if they have the quick double hammer. So, not the only way we get punished here, but it is one way. They just go straight off for a hammer. Are we going to see a second hammer? We might. Never know. They actually just had double hammer? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we needed a Force of Vigor. Well, alright, so we know definitively our opponent's on hammer. Yeah, I think that we've sideboarded the way that we want to. We don't have any dead bullet lands in the main, so yeah, I guess we'll just submit this. Guess we should have kept the Grazer hand, huh? On the play is a blessing in this matchup, though. We have Interaction and an eventual Titan. We don't really have enough lands, but I mean, that might be okay. If we draw a bounce land, we can potentially Boseiju to kill a hammer, so I mean, this hand's kind of slow, but interesting. I mean, I guess we're gonna try it. It's very slow, though. This might be a mistake to keep this hand, but we'll find out. I notoriously have not played this matchup particularly well. I like to focus too much on interacting with the opponent and not enough on actually killing them, but since we do have a Titan, you know, in theory we can get there. I guess we're gonna have to dismember that. Hey, Amulet's a really good one, though. Now we just need a bounce land and we're pretty much set. Titan in 2 turns. This is not to play, this is to do the ability. Do we need to dismember this now? I mean, we're gonna have to dismember this eventually. I'm gonna wait, though, because they might just go Cigar to Zaid into Hammer or something. Saga. Sure. If they put Cigar to Zaid on the stack, then I'm gonna dismember in response, but... Stoneforge, maybe? March for 1 on our Amulet. Yeah, that sucks. At least it didn't hit a Saga. But that definitely sucks. We'll see if they attack. I think we do just need to go ahead and dismember this. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Third Summoner's Pact is not the most fantastic draw. Just being honest here. I guess we just have to play Boseiju and pass? That feels awful, though. I don't think we really have a choice, though. Here's Boseiju. Our best draw would be Bounce Land. Then we could pack for a Dryad or an Azusa, play Bounce Land, float a mana, pick up, like, Forest, then play Dryad, play Forest. Are we just making a token? Or is that wishful thinking? That Giver was actually pretty good here, because it forced us to use our Dismember on their Giver rather than whatever they were going to target with a Cigar to Zaid trigger or like a Pure Steel Paladin, so... Speaking of... Yeah, Hammer. We could just be dead next turn. It would require a bit of work, but... Man, this is just unfortunate. I mean, we have to pass. I don't know, I guess we should have mulliganed. Our draws have not been kind. They could make a creature go get a second hammer, double equip, and we're just dead. Depending on what they want to play around, so... Looks like that's probably the plan. Not yielding here, because we want to at least appear like we have something we can do. Likelihood is we're just dead here, so... Yep. Cool. Great. Bounce land on top, too. Dang it. Next turn, we would have had a Titan if they didn't exile our Amulet, because drawing the bounce land means that we could play Azusa into bounce, 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 Titan. I don't know if that would have been good enough, but anyways. Let's hop in here for match 2. Let me know in the comments if you think that I should have mulliganed that hand. Alrighty, let's hop in here for match 2. Let me go update the record. Alrighty, and I've updated the record as well. And yet again, we're greeted by a hand with 0 bounce lands, but we do have Dryads and Azusas. We even have Grazer as a chump blocker if our opponent leads on turn 1 Ragavan, which I probably would play Grazer over Amulet on 1, given that were the case. Oh, we're playing as Jim Davis. Cool. Well, I'm going to give this hand a shot. We need to draw a bounce land and Titan, but I think that's something that we could do pretty easily. Curious to see what Jim's playing. He likes to play a bit of an eclectic mix. Jim mulligans to 4 cards? Yo, what? That cannot be good. Interesting. What a way to start a match. Foundry tapped pass. Okay, map is great, as that will find us a bounce land eventually. I think I'm a little scared of a dashed Ragavan, so I kind of want to lead on Grazer here. So I think that's probably fine. And here, for the Cavern, just in case we're facing against some land destruction, I am going to choose Dryad, I think. We'll yield through the turn. That map was actually quite a fantastic top deck. In fact, if we draw a bounce land before we ever get the chance to crack map, then we may find ourselves mapping for Tolaria West instead. Red mana. Double Sacred Foundry. Interesting. Not really sure what mulligan to 4 Double Sacred Foundry means. We do have a basic land to play around potential Blood Moon or Mages of the Moon, if they're a thing, and map to find a second basic. So we do have Blood Moon covered, actually. Oh, okay, well, we win. Admittedly, that's not super surprising considering our opponent mulligan to 4, but still. Alright, I'm definitely putting them on some red-white Ragavan DRC deck. Maybe they have some land destruction like Boom Bust or Mana Tithe or something. So we're going to want Dismembers for interaction and endurance. Explosives, I think, is probably good. Boseiju hitting like Blood Moon or something, depending on exactly what our opponent's playing, that could be good, but I don't know. Probably better than having Cavern, although they are legendary, which is bad against land destruction, but... And Relic, I guess, for DRCs, which I am definitely expecting. We can trim Summer's Pact, because we don't want to just lose to our own pack trigger. Cultivator Colossus seems like it's not in the move. Turntimber seems fantastic as an additional threat and an additional land. Explorer seems weird here. Probably not the worst, but it's also not that fantastic. I think we just don't want Cavernous Souls at all. We can maybe trim a Saga, in case our opponent is playing land destruction or has, you know, wear and tear type effects or March. I think trimming one is fine there. Map seems good. I guess we're trimming Explorers. And then... guess it's just a second pact. I don't love that, though. Could be an Azusa. Azusa seems good, though. Maybe it's just the Explosives? Explosives killing our own Amulet or Relic is kind of annoying, honestly. I think trimming Explosives is fine. It's not super mana efficient. Even if our opponent is playing a lot of 1-drops. And we have an interesting hand. We have to play turn 1 Amulet or Relic, depending on how our opponent leads off. We have Endurance to interact. We just need to find a couple lands and we're good, but... I mean, I think I'm keeping this. Sunbaked Canyon. Ragavan, okay. We were expecting the Ragavan Menace, so... I mean, we'll just play out our Amulet here and see what's what. We can play second Amulet into Turntimber to make 2 mana. Yo! Our opponent swings in with Ragavan on the plate. Seems pretty decent. See what they hit. Primeval Titan. Yep. Sounds about right. Flagstones. Okay, so this is like a Boom Bust deck, probably. Speaking of the devil, Boom Bust. Okay. I mean, you know, by okay, that really sucks, but okay. I guess we're just going to continue to play out all of our unique one-ofs. I think I want a second Amulet here, so that we could top deck Bounce Land and have Dryad into Endurance. Unless that Bounce Land is Boros Garrison, in which case we'll just cry. I guess we have Dryad this upcoming turn, or Endurance, just by playing Turntimber tap. Assuming they don't interact with our Amulets or our Sunhome. So, they hit our Bounce Land off the top. No! That was horrible. Don't do that! Pillage to hit the land. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're cycling Relic at this point. We will not pay the life. Play Relic. Pop Relic? Go ahead. I guess there's no necessarily great reason to pop Relic main phase there, but... What can I say? I'm too impatient. I wanted to see if we were going to get there or not on the land. Also, I guess we can always evoke Endurance if we need to deal with their graveyard, so see if they play our Amulet. I mean, they have their own sagas, presumably, so having an artifact in play does actually grow their constructs, but... Pillage again. We are getting land destructioned. I mean, we're not playing that, so there's land and a pass. Now any ETB tapped green land, like another Turn Timber, lets us cast Dryad or Azusa. They can Prismatic for 3, by the way. So our 3-drop might just be getting Prismatic ending. The good old Boom Bust and a double Pillage, pretty good against us so far. Especially since we don't have a bounce land. If we had a bounce land, I think this game would just be over. They exile the second bounce land, by the way. No! We drew an uncastable Dismember. This would have been great like 3 turns ago. Cool. Again, if we draw a bounce land, we're pretty good to go. Although we can't haste or double strike here since they hit our... Well, since we naturally drew and played out into Boom Bust and Pillage our Sunhome and Slayers, so... Can't do the winning the unfair way thing. They hit a second Titan. I mean, we're not technically dead, so... And their mana sources are treasures as well at the moment. Just kidding, I was lying. Boseiju. Okay, well, we are going to play this so that we can hit the Ragavan. Dismember that thing, get it out of play. Our opponent can't beat us if they don't have a clock, right? Presumably. Alright, we're just going to do this now. And begin combat rather than main phase, so they can't dash in a second Ragavan. We could just be dead to double bolt, I guess. Expressive Iteration? No way. A Cleansing Wildfire there. Rest Veil. Okay. I mean, they get to draw a card off of it, so that's good regardless. They're clawing back up on lands. Plenty of disposable treasure tokens. We could be getting Crack the Earthed here. There's another Ragavan. Gruul Turf. Cool. Okay. So, we're playing Dryad and Azusa this turn. And Titan and probably Endurance. It's Dryad. Here's Gruul Turf. I don't actually know what our Primeval Titan is getting here, by the way. I've not done any thinking about it whatsoever. Here's Azusa. We can immediately play Gruul Turf so that we have Titan mana and not get got by a Lightning Bolt, for example. Is this enough mana? I'm not sure if this is enough mana. We are getting there. Alright, here's Titan. We'll just leave 3 green floating, I suppose. We can't haste here, but we don't have Radiant Fountain to get out of double bolt range either, which is pretty tragic. So go with maybe just double Saga here. I don't think that's crazy. I'm okay with this. Do we Summoner's Pact for a second Titan right now? Because I think we could play it. The question is, can we pay for it? We get double Forest off of it, and then we can still Endurance? It's probably worth it. Alright, I think I'm going for it. Let's see, we get double Forest, they hit us with... I guess they would have, like, double Pillage or something. Or, like, Boom Bust. I guess they could, like, overload a Boom Bust, so technically we really shouldn't do that. We'll just Endurance them now. Yeah, I think that casting the Summoner's Pact here is the easiest way for us to lose the game, so I am actually not going to pack That was our whole turn. Remember what I said when we draw a bounce land, we might just win on the spot? It's a shame we couldn't haste here, but now our Titan can attack and get double Valor Cut, so looking pretty good. Wrath of God? Whew, it's a good thing we held back the Summoner's Pact, I guess. Are we even going to go with the Titan, though? If we do that, we get one less Saga token. Gruul Turf making double Saga token doesn't seem bad here. And we still don't lose to Overloaded Boom Bust or something like that. I'm just going to go with the Saga tokens. And I'm going to pick up the Gruul Turf here intentionally because it makes us a lot of mana. Go figure. Got the Saga backup plan going strong. We just need to dodge double Bolt at this point. No bolts from our opponent would be very nice. Our constructs will not be lethal this upcoming turn, sadly. Another Summoner's Pact, huh? Let's get a dude while we can. We'll search for Relic, I guess? Oh, we don't have Relic. Are we just getting Map or another Amulet? Amulet lets us... I still don't want to lose to freaking Boom Bust. We got lethal in 2 turns. I'm just going to get the Map here. Oh, we get both anyways. Why am I thinking about this? Oh, we are one artifact away from lethal here. That's interesting. We'll play Saga. And I'm going to swing with just one construct here because they could have ending... Like, they could end of turn kill our thing, have ending, and then dash a Ragavan, and that gives them extra outs. So, I think that this is probably fine, just being uber conservative. We can yield through this turn as we're not doing anything. Bolt us. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't want to do it. Ah, okay, they didn't have it. Whew. GG's. Woo! Alright, well, I'm going to leave it here so I can go hop into Jim's chat and see what's what. And I'll see you guys for round 3. Alrighty. Hopping in here for match 3. Get it underway. On the draw. Hate it. We already lost. Might as well scoop the match. Playing against King Cantona. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that. Our opponent is deciding whether they want to play first or not. I mean, I'll be on the play if you want me to, opponent. I'm totally okay with this, but, you know, that's just me, though. Alrighty, and we have an Explorer hand. We get to play turn 1 TOS, turn 2 Forest, Explorer in a bounce land, and then turn 3, if we find a 3-drop, play it. I don't know, this feels slow. Turn 1 Saga would be better, or turn 1 Amulet. And the Summoner's Pact is actually not fantastic here, because we don't want to have to pack for a 3-drop and then tap out the turn after, since this hand is well set up to just cast Titan on turn 4 otherwise, so, I don't know. That said, we could draw naturally an Amulet or a Grazer or a 3-drop, and then this hand becomes significantly better, although we're still missing the additional land, unless we draw Amulet specifically. We're on the draw as well, so we get 2 shots at it. It's actually kind of close. Our opponent keeps 7. No indication of what they're playing. I feel like this hand is actually a reasonable keep, but... Like, if we just draw turn 1 Amulet, this hand is fantastic. Although, even a turn 1 Amulet means that we'd have to pack for the 3-drop. I'm just going to mulligan it. Well, this hand is very similar to the other one. However, this time we actually have the 3-drop in our hand already, and we have Garenbrig to make the requisite mana colors, so we definitely keep this. Leading on Garenbrig, just because otherwise, we always know that this forest is going to be entering untapped, so there's no reason not to lead on Garenbrig. Turn 2 Explore, probably leaving the Growth Chamber and play. Our opponent plays Castle Garenbrig Pass. So, an Amulet Mirror, perhaps? Well, we'll do the same thing. Castle Garenbrig Pass. Let's hope our opponent does not have the Amulet of Vigor to go along with his castle. Just basic forest. Alright, well, we got to untap. Interesting. So we can explore... I mean, drawing this Amulet's just really awkward, because we could play Amulet Forest Pass, and the next turn have Growth Chamber Dryad, but not have Titan mana? I mean, having the Amulet in play is just going to be better, though, right? Our alternative would be to play Forest, explore, Growth Chamber, pick up the Forest. Next turn, play Amulet into Bounce Land if we top deck it and still have Titan. Ugh, it's weird. We'd have to draw exactly Bounce Land for that line to make any sense, though, so I think we're just playing Amulet Land Pass. And we'll pass. I suppose we still could have Growth Chamber picked up the Garen Brigand and then explored if we wanted to, but there's really no reason to do that, so... Next turn, we can play Growth Chamber and Cycle Explore to see if we hit a Zusa or Summoner's Pact off the top, or Grazer. Because if we hit those things, we get to jam a Titan. Our opponent plays out a Boseiju. Cool. They have Dryad. Second Amulet also is very, very good here, as we get to go Dryad into Titan. Cultivator Colossus doing absolutely nothing is, well, that's a thing that can happen. Now, we're probably going to lose, actually. It's debatable, for sure. Depends on if our opponent actually has a Titan here or not. Hey, we hit the Azusa! No way! Okay, so that means we get to Titan. This is why we Cycle Explore in situations like this. Getting our Titan into play before our opponent can do anything is very, very good. We'll probably hold up the Boseiju after we attack, obviously. And do we want Bounce Land in hand? I feel like we do. Although, I guess we could have left the Growth Chamber in play and just picked up the Boros Garrison we're about to search for, but oh, whatever. Okay, so we want Garrison Slayers. And then we'll attack, get Bounce Land. We'll Garrison Slayers. We'll attack, we'll get Bounce Land and Boseiju. So we can hold up Boseiju, and if they play a Titan, we will Boseiju their Dryad, I guess. And this time we're just picking up the Slayers. Yeah, Boseijuing the Dryad is pretty much a guaranteed win here, I think. So we'll get Growth Chamber and Boseiju. Let's see, if we pick up Boros Garrison, play Dryad, play Growth Chamber, we can pick up the Boseiju and get our Dryad into play here as well, so we'll do that. Take 8. We got to just do all of it today. Yeah, this is a pretty good start, I would say. Definitely rewarded for playing out the Amulet instead of anything else. Do we just Boseiju the Dryad now? That way they may not even be able to get Titan to play. I guess they have guaranteed Titan mana if we do that, so now we'll just pass. I don't know that there's anything that our opponent can actually do to get to Titan here. I guess if they played Amulet into Bounce Land, we can't hit the Amulet because then they'll have Titan mana regardless. Or we can't hit the Bounce Land, I mean, because they'll have Titan mana regardless. They activate Garen Brig, play Titan here, that's fine. If they get Valakut, then we'll kill the Dryad, and we'll be good. Yep, Titan's fine. Titan's A-okay. Of course, we're waiting until after they search, so they're locked into whatever they get. If we hit the Dryad with the Boseiju here, then they could get 2 different lands with the Titan, but here they have to go for the Vesuva Bounce Land, the Vesuva Valakut here, and force us to Boseiju this, and then they end up with these 2 lands, which may or may not actually be useful to them after this. Yeah, so let's get that Dryad out of here. Then they won't have enough mountains to let these Valakut triggers do the damage, and we'll be good. Also, it costed 1 less thanks to the Azusa, the Boseiju, which is pretty good. As I predicted, having just the 1 Boseiju there, good enough. Speaking of Boseiju, we'll bring in the other one. And Dismember hitting Dryad is relevant. I don't think we want all 3 Dismembers, but I like 2 maybe. This matchup, we can trim Turn Timbers and Colossus, as this is not really what this matchup is about. We can trim a Cavern, as our opponent most likely not playing Pact of Negation. Yeah, I mean, we gotta cut one more card. Could be an Explorer, but I don't think that's really necessary. Maybe even one Grazer is not a bad cut. I don't hate cutting a Grazer. Run it this way. Grazer can be awkward. Just putting a bunch of stuff into play, but not actually getting us to Titan mana. Having one or two Grazers to combo out with our Amulet can be nice. But other than that, Grazer's not the most fantastic card in this matchup, so having Explorer is better against possible Force of Vigors that our opponent could have if they could hit like our Saga lands or our Dryads or Amulets, than having Explorer to draw an extra card and get us closer to Titan mana without exposing us to anything else is pretty nice. Especially drawing a card to be able to have access to Titan is something that can be relevant in this matchup as well, so. Well, yeah, this hand is not going to cut it, I don't think. Any hand that has either a faster start than this or a Force of Vigor to interact is just better, so. Like this. It says Force to interact. It has Boseiju to interact. Probably bottoming the Cavern here. Honestly, Boseiju is basically just a land in this hand anyways, but I mean, we'll definitely keep this. They keep and put a card on the bottom for 6. I guess we'll do the same. Cavern's the worst here, as it doesn't actually tap for green mana, except for the one thing that we name with it. Amulet go. Okay. We're going to hold on to this Force, because we could potentially hit a Dryad off of this, or a second Amulet, if they just went Amulet, play Bounce Land. That would be pretty good for us, obviously. Saga, or we can hit this too. Actually, I think I'm going to force and hit the Amulet and the Saga now in response, so they can't float a mana. I think I'm actually just exiling the Titan as well, because the Azusa getting us ramp here is actually better than having a guaranteed Titan, because we can always, like that, top deck another threat, so. Almost clicked it. Don't want to do that, that's for sure. Playing out a Bounce Land is weak to our opponent having Boseiju here, but don't think that we should be playing around that. It also lets us cast Azusa this upcoming turn, so if we can manage to do that, then we'll be in very, very good shape. Vesuva copy Growth Chamber. Yeah, I mean, it's the hard way to do it, but you can do it. I respect our opponent copying our land here, but now we just get to Titan before them, I think, and we'll be Gucci. We'll play Gruul Turf, pick up the Forest, play Garenbrig, and pass. And now, even if they Boseiju one of our bounce lands, we can play Forest and have Titan mana, so looking decent. I guess if our opponent goes Dryad into Titan, then we could have problems, since our Titan does not have Valakut triggers attached to it. Yep, there's Dryad. So there is a way for us to have problem. On 4 cards, if they have Garenbrig or Bounce Land here, then we could potentially get Titan this upcoming turn. It wouldn't be that terribly difficult. They have Boseiju. Interesting. And Amulet. Okay, that is actually pretty scary, not gonna lie. Math. Well, we could play. We could pack for Dryad, play it, play land, play map, crack it for Valakut, play Valakut land, and that doesn't even kill our opponent's Dryad. I guess we're just going for the Titan and hoping it works out. Yeah, we don't really have another choice. There's no way for us to make haste mana here either, so we're just doing the, very fair Titan things. We might be able to leave Boseiju mana in play so we can kill our opponent's Dryad if they go for their own Titan. I like that idea. So we get, like, Talari West, Growth Chamber, pick up Garenbrig, play Forest Garenbrig, and hold up Boseiju activation. I don't hate that. We could also Boseiju a Bounce Land in response to the Amulet trigger. They could float with their Growth Chamber, pick it up, play it, No, that they would still have Titan mana, so we're basically just hitting the Dryad here. I think that's probably our best route, though. I think it's Simic T-West, pick up the Garenbrig. Play. Oh, and we can even play the map here since our Azusa makes our Boseiju cost 1 less, so value. Interesting. I guess we could have picked up the T-West then instead of the Garenbrig and just played out the forest, which would have been better for sure, but let's see. Now we pay 4 for Pact, pay 2 to map. Yeah, we're not going to have enough mana to get a Dryad into play unless we top deck a Pact or a Dryad. Valcut. Interesting. I don't think I'm scared of Valcut. Especially considering we're already going to be killing this with Boseiju, so. I wonder if our opponent realizes that we have Boseiju up thanks to the legendary Azusa clause. They just have nothing. Do we kill the Dryad anyways? Give them Titan mana? They probably have double Titan in hand, because if they had another land, they could play land Titan, so. I don't really see a reason to Boseiju this. It gives them an out. So we'll just untap. And we'll pay for our pack. Yes. Forest. So we crack map, get TOS, transmute, play land. We're 1 short of having Dryad here. We can also map for another Boseiju as well, so. Also, we get to attack. So we attack and get bounce land, like forest, or Valcut bounce land after having and cracking map, picking up forest, and we play land Dryad, but that doesn't actually get us any triggers. We could get yeah, that's the only way we'd be able to get a Valcut in play. Interesting. I guess we're just attacking with a Titan. If we attack with Titan, we're attacking into a Dismember, but that's fine though, because we can Boseiju the Dryad, so we'll definitely go to combat first. Swing. We definitely need to get a bounce land to pick up this T-West. Or we could just get bounce land T-West, actually, but. Let's see. We can get Growth Chamber, pick up the tap Growth Chamber, just pick up a bounce land, and then another land like Valcut. I think that's fine. Yeah. And then we could map for a Boseiju if we need to. Alright, we'll see if they want to block. I don't know, we're very ahead here, so. So we'll play our Growth Chamber, pick up the T-West. Transmute for a second pack. No, yeah, a second pack. That'll set us up either another Titan or a Dryad. Then we'll play Forest and hold up Boseiju plus crack map. Seems pretty good. Alright, is our opponent using Boseiju here? Oh, they are. That's a bit unfortunate. I mean, yeah, we can't do anything about this, so we'll search. Get a Forest. We can crack map and still transmute and still hold up Boseiju, so I think that's what we'll do. Now our map is guaranteedly getting us a T-West. Interesting, so I guess they don't have Titan then. Or they held up Boseiju instead? Oh, no, they're legendary. They still could have played one out, though. I don't know. I guess they must not have Titan as their last card. Interesting. Right, well, I guess we're just keeping bounce land in hand now. Play out Forest. We'll transmute. Get packed. So if we played Boseiju... How many lands have we played? Because we could potentially kill their Dryad with our own Dryad, although that plays into Dismember. Then they still can't have Titan off the top. Let's see. Okay, so. We attacked. We played Growth Chamber. Played Forest. So if we played this, and we only have 1 land drop remaining, so it doesn't actually do anything. So we just pass. and we Boseiju our opponent's Dryad if they go for Dryad shenanigans. I mean, we could also just Boseiju their Growth Chamber and make them have exactly Bounce Land plus Titan, but I think just saving the Boseiju for our opponent's Dryad is going to be the best line here. And the next turn we just, Dryad them. Or maybe we play around our opponent having the third Boseiju. I don't know. We have a lot of play at our disposal here. So my opponent says in the chat they had the out to get a bounce land and go for Colossus, or to leave the Boseiju and get a Titan. And they said it seems like they went for the wrong line. Good games. Let's say good GG's to my opponent. Alrighty, so that means that we are 2-1. So let's hop in here for match 4. Boseiju just looking like an absolute powerhouse there. Alrighty, let's hop in here for match 4. On the draw again, playing against Zerk, Xerk. We are playing against a Yorion deck. That is scary. And just the classic no green source hand, although we do have map to help us find our green source. So we go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Sunhome. And we can crack map for a green bounce land, get Amulet, play Dryad Explorer. I mean, it's definitely close. I think it's got enough potential, though, so we'll keep it. If our opponent has a Saga, a way to deal with our Saga, like a Spreading Seas or something, Birds of Paradise. That's not really what I was expecting. And we have the bounce land now, too, which is fantastic. I mean, we're just going to hope that our opponent does not have the turn 2/3 fairy and just play out our Saga, because I don't know that we can really beat 3 fairy here anyways. Wall of Roots. So they did not have the 3 fairy. Not yet, at least. Abundant Growth. Not bounce on. Amulet off the top would be fantastic, because we could play Dryad. Don't find it. Well, we are going to play out our castle here and pass. Rather than cracking the map, just having a green source in play means that we can explore, or even Dryad next turn if we want to. If they bounce our Saga, then we can go land, explore, put another green land into play, and have a game plan. So now we're not just cold to 3 fairy. Is this like Yawgmoth that just happens to be playing Yorion or something? I'm very confused. Abundant Growth. Or it could be like a Kiki Cord deck? I don't know. I haven't seen a Yorion deck that plays Wall of Roots. My guess is like Kiki Cord, which would not be great news for us, because it means that we could be facing down Mages of the Moon as a Cord or Eladamri's called target, which is not great news for us. Which also makes it better that we played out the Saga early, because if they can't cast the Mages this very turn, then we're going to get our Amulet out of it, and otherwise the Saga could have been dead against a Moon effect. So, plus having map for basic forest there would be very good as well. I don't know. I'm not really sure what our opponent is playing over there. I was expecting a grindy matchup, like a blue control deck, and our opponent played Birds of Paradise and Wall of Roots. So, I don't know how to feel about that. So next turn we get an Amulet. Bounce land into Grazer does not make enough mana to activate Garen Break for Titan, because we have to use one of the 2 green mana that our bounce land would produce that turn to cast Grazer. And so we'd end up with only 1 green mana. We'd have colorless blue, blue, green, and that doesn't activate Garen Break, because Garen Break requires double green. So we are not going to be able to Titan here. Unless we draw Amulet, in which case we can play second Amulet after getting one from Saga, bounce land, Dryad, bounce land, Explorer, and maybe hit a Titan there, and then we have all the mana colors that we need, so. Opponent cracks Catacombs. Another basic force, so definitely expecting Mages to the Moon or something. They are playing Yorion Yawg. That's, not what I expected. They don't have any Undying creatures yet, so that's good for us. Unfortunately, we don't have a kill here. Definitely getting Amulet, as it's our only option. Huh. So we play Sunhome, Dryad, Simic, pick up Sunhome Explorer and just try to get land progress. We might even graze out a land this turn, and then maybe if we don't hit Titan off of our Explorer or our next draw step, we can go for map for Valakut and hope that's good enough. I mean, I guess that's the plan. We'll play out our Simic. Get our green mana in play while we can. It's safe to always yield to Amulet as long as there's only one in play. We'll explore. Titan? Even if we hit Titan, we might just be dead to our opponent's Yogg, so no Titans to be seen. We'll play Sunhome. We'll tap it for a green using the Dryad ability and play our Grazer out here. Just get... I guess this is really bad if we draw Colossus to be putting all these lands into play, but that's fine. And here we'll name Giant because our opponent is most certainly playing counterspells, and we can play around them with Cavern Souls against their mono green mana base. And I guess we're done. Even if we draw Colossus, we can play Bounce Land, float a bunch of mana. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can float mana, play Garrison second time, crack map for Bounce Land, and then play Colossus and have at least 5 mana coming into play. So I guess we're still good against good if we draw a Colossus, I should say. Also, we can just map for Tolario, right? We play Garrison twice. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with Garenbrig. Yeah, so we should be able to... Oh, wait, no. 10 down to 8 with the map. Down to 5. No, we'll be one short of casting Titan without some help. Our opponent has one of the Undying creatures. Do they have the second? Going after our Dryad, of course. That makes sense. We could just be dead here. Although we're at higher life total than them, so it would require a Blood Artist or something. It would be very easy for them to kill us here, to be honest, but... well, I guess they can't kill us without the Blood Artist, because we're at higher life total than them. So we're probably not dead this turn, but it is certainly possible. They can draw a bunch of cards, and then maybe they'll have enough creatures in play to cord. If they play the 1-drop creature that gains them a life every time a creature comes into play, they could just play 1 extra creature and kill us that way. So we definitely block the 3 and take 2 and stay above life total, but we want to keep our Dryad if at all possible, since it's our route to not just instant losing. If we do top deck Titan, that is. I wouldn't be surprised if they just killed our Dryad here, so... There's some weird rule about if we have the same life total, but it's even, versus if we have the same life total, but it's odd. I think if it's odd, we lose, and if it's even, they can't win, I think. I don't know, it's weird. If you're a Yogg player, explain it in the comments to me, because I don't know. I just know that that complexity exists, but I don't know the details of it. We can map for Valakut, play Valakut land, and we only get 1 shot, so we kill the Strangleroot, I guess. Endurance. That's pretty good. As like a free creature to kickstart some shenanigans. Wonder what they exiled for that. A Wall of Roots. Interesting. So 1 more sack kills the Dryad. But then that requires an additional Undying creature to start the loop, and they couldn't kill us because we're still at higher life total. Although that may change if they just attack for like 5 next turn, put us to 13, then they can kill us. Another Geist. They sack the Geist to reset the other Geist. I mean, they can draw a lot here, but that doesn't actually mean anything. They're not going to be putting themselves dead to Dryad, since they can just kill the Dryad, but they are putting themselves to fetch land, though. We can map for Valakut, play fetch land Valakut, and then they're just dead, I think. No, they're not dead. They would have to sack 2 creatures, though. And then we get to Valakut a different creature. we get to stabilize the board a bit more. Make it much harder for them, but they have tons of land drops, so... Not land drops, tons of cards, what am I saying? Yeah, we would need a lot to be able to win this game, I think, but... we'll see. Oh, they can chord for the 2-mana creature now, if they have a chord. Thanks to the Wall of Roots making double mana, so we are probably just dead here. Alright, let's see the Blood Artist opponent. Show it to us. Yep, alright. So, the reason that this kills us is because the Blood Artist says whenever another creature dies, target player loses 1 and they gain 1. So, they get to never lose life when they're activating Yawgmoth, and they can just do infinite damage to us with the Artist. So, we are dead. Good plays from our opponent. Alright, so we want Dismembers against the Yawgmoth. We want Relic against them since it can mess with their Undying. And Endurance for the same reason. We don't want Colossuses or Turn Timber. Explore's a little slow against them, so I feel like we can trim it pretty easily. And trim Cavern. Maybe just double Cavern. They will have probably things like Rex Sage and Mages of the Moon for our Sagas. So maybe we should be trimming on Saga. I don't know, though, to be honest. Is Force of Vigor any good against them? Probably not, right? It just hits their enchantments. I'm gonna submit it like this. We just have to have a consistent turn 3 Titan on the play here. Is what we're looking for. Dryad and a Titan would be fantastic. Endurance is in our hand. Huh. Yeah, this hand's not fantastic. Any hand that goes turn 1 Amulet is just infinitely better than this, so... Or has Dismember as well is actually very good. So we get to turn 1 Saga, hold up Dismember, eventually fetch an Amulet off the Saga. This hand's looking pretty good. We probably ship the Garrison as we want this one in our deck. Vesuva does useful things by itself, so it's fine. Like, for example, we go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Vesuva the Saga if we don't draw a land, so... Don't want to be picking up our Saga anyways. Now, we'll just hope our opponent does not have Force of Vigor. That is the hope. Alright, opponent, you're not allowed to have Force of Vigor. That is the goal. Just naturally draw a regular, actual second Saga. We'll let this go. We can just Vesuva our opponent's Forest, which I think is the play I'm going to make, so we don't just straight die to Force. I don't know if we're supposed to dismember this birds or not. If they evolution it into a Magus, then we'll have to float a mana in response to evolution and dismember the Magus. Urborg. I don't know. I feel like saving Dismember is fine here. This is an evolution. We are absolutely floating in response. Wall of Roots, sure. I'm not even sure how good Endurance is in this matchup, to be honest. I feel like it might be a waste. Ignoble, sure. Huh. Okay. Bounce Land is alright, but Titan would have been better. Could get Relic here. We just gotta get Amulet, right? I think it's just Amulet. It gives us a route to actually casting a Titan, so... We'll play Simic to go ahead and make use of our Bounce Land, so if our opponent has Force, they don't just get to kill our Saga out on an Amulet and completely destroy us. We'll pick up the Forest, I do suppose. Play Azusa, leaving a black floating. Ha 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 ha. And we'll play Vesuva copying Forest, again to play around Magus, if at all possible. And if we get to play this land, we'll play the Saga. Cool. We could dismember now without having to pay the life, but I think I'm okay with it. The way that it is. We're not completely cold in the Magus, so if this Elder Armies calls getting a Magus in the Moon, that's fine. They have the red from the Ignoble and from the bird. They got the Yawgmoth, so I guess maybe they don't have Magus then? I feel like if they had Magus, they'd just slam it, right? Here comes Yawgmoth, probably. Prosperous Innkeeper. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1. Yep, so that's another version of the 2-mana creature they can use to combo off. It makes a token, a treasure token, so it's basically just 1 mana. Young Wolf, sure. Will yield to the life gain triggers. We still have a lot of work to do, by the way. And our Azusa is not long for this world. Here's Yawgmoth. Okay, we'll go to their instep. We're at a lower life total than them. They can only cord for 1, so getting another Young Wolf lets them draw a bunch of cards. If they corded in response. If we untap, they can cord for 2. Oh, actually, cord here, getting a Young Wolf kills us because... No, it doesn't kill us. Because the Innkeeper's not doing damage to us. It lets them draw back up to 7, though. Which I guess is fine. Also, I guess we can't flash an endurance because we don't have the card. I guess we're just gonna slam the dismember here. I don't think we really have another choice. Yep, they're doing the thing. They'll draw up to 7 here, at least. I guess they can draw as many as they want, right? So they could technically draw above 7 until they have the perfect hand. Yeah, so I guess we have to kill our opponent this upcoming turn. Oh, they killed our Azusa. Yeah, that's gonna be really hard. Okay. Titan would have been fantastic there. Alright, we'll play out our Sanctuary. And we'll untap it. It's a shame that we have to pick up our Forest here, which means we're not going to be able to hard cast Endurance if we want to make a token, but I guess the token doesn't really matter as much as casting Endurance, so we'll do this. Our opponent didn't draw back up to 7, by the way. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but I guess in order to do that, they would have to have another Undying creature, right? So they would be sacrificing their board. Evolution. Yeah. Yawgmoth, of course. Yeah. Actually, let's not always yield to that, because when they sack the Young Wolf with the Undying trigger on the stack, we definitely want to Endurance them. I guess if we top deck Colossus or Titan, we might actually just win here. Freaking Geralt's Messenger. That one kind of sucks. We're not dead here, though, thanks to the Endurance. We'll let the Messenger go. Don't think we yielded to the Messenger. They sack Messenger. This is when we're going to flash in Endurance. Get rid of that Geralt's Messenger, please. We don't want that one. We don't want it. Alright. So we're not getting comboed out here. So that's cool. Endurance looking good here, not gonna lie. Endurance looking quite good here. Definitely much more important than the Saga token, I would say. Hey, we got the Colossus too? Are we gonna win this game because of the Endurance? That would be sick. Alright, so we get second Amulet, play Garrison, and just, like, hope our Colossus does not miss. We do have 1 Colossus to pack for, so... I'm gonna Vesuva a Greenland here, just to make certain that we can actually cast our Colossus, because I think that's probably important. I wonder if there's a Titan line that's deterministic, but... Pick up the Vesuva so we can copy whatever we need to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could Titan, get Bounce Land, T-West, second Titan, haste both, attack, double strike both. That's 32. They block 4, 5, 6 of it. Or they can put minus counters, actually. They put 3 minus counters on something. Is this another creature or any creature? Sacrifice another creature. They can put 3 minus counters. So one of the Titans would be doing 8 minus 2, 5 times 2, 10 damage. The other one would be doing 16. They block, and there's 10, 16. 26, yeah, they're still dead even if they block 4 of it. I think this is a deterministic kill. Oh, wait, hold on. Our Titans can't attack, though, because we have Garrison in hand. Weird. I think we're supposed to go for Colossus here. See, we get Titan. Titan gets T West, Bounce Land. Yeah, I don't think there's any way for us to haste here without just going for the Colossus. So I'm going to go for the Colossus. We are spinning the wheel. We'll leave some blue floating just in case. Here and here. All right, Colossus, we need you to go the distance. I don't think a Titan would have been good enough here. Let me know if you can find a different line, but... Oh, they're killing the Colossus. Sure. That's fine. I don't think that matters at all. If we hit a Titan off of this Colossus, then we just win, for sure. They went all in to kill this Colossus, too. All right, here's the Garrison. Misty. Pasage, sure. Now we'll Vesuva Growth Chamber. Titan? Oh, man, we missed on the Titan. That's so unfortunate. Okay. All right, well, let's just stack a bunch of arbitrary amulet triggers. We'll probably just leave some lands untapped and in play for casting endurance at instant speed purposes. Might as well float in the mana. I'm gonna leave the fetch land in play. I guess we just pick up the Garrison. Oh, Garrison and one other land. Maybe it's just the Boseiju. Sure. Right. Play Amulet. Oh man, with the way we should have picked up the bounce, the Misty Rainforest, so we could flash in endurance. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. Hopefully it won't punish us, but that was not great. I guess now we can still fetch for basic land, so it's not the biggest deal, but definitely a minor misstep there. I guess we're not swinging either, since our life total does technically matter, and our opponent's doesn't really. Our opponent has 8 cards over there. Man, we are fighting hard. Wall of Roots. Yep. Evolution into another undying creature. No. Ignoble. Huh. Yeah, we're still not in good shape here. That was fantastic, but our Colossus just did not hit. Interesting. All right, well, we'll untap. Not lose to our pack trigger. Thank you very much. Titan off the top. Still possibly wins? Oh, with triple amulet, it almost definitely wins. So a Titan here should be good enough. Yes, we want to pay. Titan? One time? Titan one time. If our opponent goes for Jarl's Messenger, we have to endurance them again, so... Yeah, picking up the Boris Garrison instead of one of the Greenlands maybe is a mistake. I don't know. This would have been a very hard game to win anyways. Here's a Messenger, and we'll do the endurance thing again. This lets us be not technically dead, but not technically alive either, so yeah, we'll let this go. Why does this thing have a yield mark on it? I never yielded to this card. Not even one time. Alright, well, we have to go get a forest here, so... Here's another endurance. Sad endurance time. Let's always yield to this. No Yogg combos. You're not allowed to do it. Alright, let's just play the Boseiju at this point. Man, This game is close, but it is not close enough. I think we're still going to lose. We need our opponent to not have anything this upcoming turn, and for us to be able to top deck Titan. That's what we need. Is that too much to ask? Yes. Yes, it is. Almost guaranteedly. They also get to draw like a billion cards here to try to find what they need, so all they need is a way to find Jarl's Messenger. Yep, that is a way to find Jarl's Messenger, so I didn't see what they sacrificed. Young Wolf? Yep. Alright, well, we're dead. Cool. We tried hardest. The hardest that we could. Alright. Honestly, though, that endurance there looked really good. Hop in here for match 5. Can we go 3-2 and get our infinite league value, or are we going to go 2-3 and just get a sad half a league back, huh? That is the question. Ugh, this hand is kind of gross, so we're going to mulligan. Our opponent reveals Gigantha. So this is probably Green Tron. And we get a turn 2 Dryad into a turn 3 potential Colossus. I mean, we're going to keep it. Bottom the redundant Dryad, I guess. Oh, we definitely have a turn 3 Colossus here, I think, with the Saga giving us second Amulet. I don't know, it depends on if we can make enough mana while also making enough green mana using Dryad ability or not. But we're definitely going to slam turn 1 Amulet here. But yeah, next time we play Boros Garrison, Dryad, Castle. Turn after we play Garrison, float 4, 5, 6. Second Garrison floats green with the Dryad ability, so we should be good. No, they Inquisitioned us. Inquisition in the Gigantha deck? So this is like just Shadow deck then? Like Grixis Shadow, maybe? Summoner's Pact. Yeah? I mean, so we still get to just, oh, we can't quite Titan them because we have Garrison instead of the green one. Interesting. Any of the green ones. I mean, we're just passing here. Definitely can't Summoner's Pact and then die to the Summoner's Pact, so that's cool. If we top deck a green bounce land here, then we're good. Azusa. That does not do it. I guess we're just getting map. Our opponent has Steaments, so it definitely is Grixis Shadow. It's got to be map, right? Play Garrison, Azusa, Garrison, crack map. Let's not always yield. I mean, I guess we probably could, since we're likely not going to be drawing another copy of... I'm actually going to pick up the Garrison here, too, as well, to make mana progress, since no matter what happens to Azusa, we're going to be able to crack map for a second bounce land, so... It's not like they can drown this. I guess if they had mainboard Mana Leak, which is not something that Grixis Shadow has been playing for a very long time, but it is technically possible. I guess they could have had Dress down there, perhaps? Playing into Dress down there is fine, I think. We'll go ahead and map now for our green bounce land. If we get to untap with this Azusa, then we get to Colossus or Titan them. And if they kill the Azusa, then... I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll do it live. Yep, there's the Unholy Heat. Okay. Grazer or Azusa or Titan off the top lets us Titan them next turn. And play really poorly into Drown Lock, but nonetheless. Another bounce land doesn't do a whole lot. Let's see, we packed Azusa, and we can't play the Colossus, so I guess we're just playing Simic and picking up Garandrig, and the next turn we can just play bounce land and Titan them. Of course, we'll play Summoner's Pact before we play the Growth Chamber, so that if they do drown us, then we can play Castle Garandrig instead. That way we can have Colossus the turn after, I guess. Dash Ragavan, huh? I feel like they 1,000% have the drown. But, you know, there's a Saga off the top. That's an interesting one. If we had drawn that, I don't know if I would have played it or not. Oh. Second pack is freaking phenomenal here. Alright, drown this, please. Ragavan actually helped us here. Alright, go ahead and cast your drown, opponent. There's more where that came from. That second pack was a hilarious top deck. I guess it only could have been better if it was, like, actual factual Primeval Titan. And we can haste our Titan as well. Yep, here's the drown. I guess we could... Nah, we don't want to pact in response to that fetch, because then they just let both packs resolve. We have to pay for double pact, which would not be good. So... we could go for Colossus here. Interesting. We'll pact. I think just going for the Titan's got to be better than going for Colossus here. Titan also sets up the Colossus with additional land drops, so here's a growth chamber. Unfortunately, we have to leave the garrison in play here if we want to haste our guy. I mean, there's some argument for not doing that, just so that we don't enable their Death Shadow, but I am not... I am no coward. I am attacking with this Titan. It just means that when we attack, we have to get a green source, which is not the worst possible thing. Hold on a second, I'm getting an important call. Okay, I'm back, sorry. Let my opponent know I'm back. Alright, let's go ahead and get our haste land. And our Boros garrison. Well, proxy Boros garrison, the Vesuva copying it, you know, same difference. And I think we just leave max mana in play. I don't know, maybe picking up the Vesuva's fine. If we pick up the Vesuva, attack, get green land and something else, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, we could get Greenland Garandrig. Oh, we have to pay for Summoner's Pact. So we pay 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3. Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. Kind of want the garrison in hand, though, I think. Or not the garrison, the Vesuva in hand. Nah. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just pick up the Vesuva. It makes our Colossus better, so. Say yes to this one for sure. And we want a green source, so I guess... honestly, just basic force might be the best, but I'm going to go for a Garandrig, I think. And then the other land could be anything we want. It's probably best to get a T-West. I don't think I want to play around our opponent having exactly Spreading Seas for our growth chamber and get a second green source. I think that would be playing around too much, so I'm just going to get the T-West. And we'll pass to our opponent. Alrighty, so against Grixis Shadow, I'm definitely going to try to Emrakul them. You already know I'm going to try to Emrakul them. We want the explosives as well, and Endurance for sure. Relic is good against DRC, which they probably have. Dismember is weird against them. I don't know if I like Dismember or not. We obviously want Cavern to play around Drowns. It's pretty free. Dismember is weird because trading 1 for 1 is alright, but Dismember doesn't always hit Shadow. Hitting 1 Ragavan may not even be worth our time. It's probably better to just be threatening them than it is to have Dismember, but I don't know. I feel like I always bring in Dismember because I'm like, Dismember's got to be good, and then whenever I play it, it always feels bad while I'm playing it. But, I mean, we want to be able to kill those Ragavans or catch them off guard with Death Shadow or whatever, so I'm going to bring in Dismember. It may not even be right, though, if I'm being completely honest. And against Grixis, we definitely want to trim a little bit on Saga. Maybe it's trim 1. I could see trimming 2. And we're going to trim entirely on Amulets because they can just kill them, take them with discard. You know, if we end up top decking an Amulet, we're in bad shape, or we'd rather just top deck lands. So having 1 Amulet to tutor for with Saga is good in my opinion, but that's about it. We can trim... what else? An Azusa, since it just dies to Unholy Heat. Actually, no, I like Azusa. I changed my mind. Razor's good against specifically Ragavan, otherwise I would cut it. Colossus is horrible against Stress Down. Turn Timber is like, okay. Boseiju doesn't do anything, and we definitely don't want the extra legendary land. Although I guess Boseiju does hit dress down. I don't know if I care about that, though. I kind of care, but I don't think I can afford to play around it. I think trimming a second Saga is not the worst, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Map is, like, weird, but it's okay. What else? What else? Maybe the explosives is not fantastic. Explosives doesn't seem the worst, though. We can trim one Summoner's Pact, as we don't want to get caught by Drown, and we don't want to have to tap out the turn after if they just answer our Titan. But we do need to have a threat density that we can top deck towards. I guess we can shave one more Saga to play around Alpine Moon and Spreading Season, that sort of thing. We can shave... Maybe it's just the Explorers. I like Explorer against them, though. We can trim one turn... Nah, turn temper is just too good. We'll keep the Explosives and Dismember in the board and go this way. Let me know in the comments if you think that Dismember is better than Explosives in this matchup. I can't really tell. Alright, so we get to play turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Dryad. We have Cavern to get through our opponent's counter magic. I mean, we're definitely keeping this. See if they play turn 1 Ragavan against our Grazer. Blood Crypt. Who knows? DRC. So they are playing DRC, so it's good that we brought in the Relic, Endurances, and whatnot. Here's a Grazer. We'll put in the green land since we drew it. And we'll pass to our opponent. Green land lets us more easily cast Titan on turn 4-ish. Turn 4 most likely, since we're not playing with the amulets here. Thoughtseize to take one of our Dryads is not the end of the world. Second Thoughtseize to take our second Dryad would be kind of the end of the world, though. We could still play and crack map to get Bog to slow down their Channeler and get rid of their Delirium. Ideally, they just wouldn't have a second land here, but that's never going to happen, so... They take the map. That's probably good news for us. They don't have the land? No freaky way. They didn't have the land. Did you see that? They didn't have the land. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, we're slam-lamming a Dryad into play, getting our bounce land out of the way. Nope. Now we just have mono untap sources, so that's good. Them not having the land could be scary for us as well, because if they ever hit the land, they're going to have tons of things to do over there. I'm a little curious why they took the map. I guess they're... I don't know what they were afraid of there, to be honest. Right, well, let's play out Dryad, I guess. Play Growth Chamber, pick up the Forest. Oh, we get another land drop. I guess just Cavern naming... we want to hold the Cavern in case we top that Colossus, I guess. Although our opponent's probably not going to be holding up Counterspell, but we'll just play out the Forest. And we'll swing. I don't see why not. It does enable their Death Shadow a bit better, but we don't know for sure that they played Shadow. Although, to see Dress Down, I think that we probably should assume they're playing Shadow. Inquisition for no value. I guess they get to scry with a DRC, so that's technically value. Actually, Endurance would be a pretty fantastic top deck here, now I'm thinking about it. We have a lot of great top decks. Below Terminate, sure. If we find Titan off the top, they're just dead. If we find Colossus off the top, they're probably dead. I think we sideboarded out the Colossus, though, which is a good choice, considering they do have Dress Down, obviously. Do we even bother blocking? I don't think so. I don't really see a reason to. Titan? Emrakul. How much does this cost right now? 12. 6, 7. We're a little ways away from that. 8, 9 if we played this untapped. Okay. Well, we'll Vesuva Growth Chamber. Pick up the Forest, play Forest. I am swinging with both Dryads, too. Again, enabling their Death Shadow, which I don't love, but I've never actually resolved Emrakul the Promised End, by the way. I've never resolved the trigger or the card itself, so I don't know how this will look on the Magic Online interface. I've played this card a number of times, but I have never actually gotten it to work. It's possible Emrakul's just not even good in this matchup. Like, if this was a Colossus, we'd have probably already won, but... oh well. Alpine Moon. You got it. Naming Growth Chamber? That kind of hurts, not gonna lie. How are we supposed to cast Emrakul now? We still have 7 mana. Well, they could just name Valakut, actually. They did name Valakut. Okay. Okay. Let's block now. This makes our Emrakul cost 1 less. 11. The 8, 9, 10. 1 land off the top, and we can Emrakul them? Azusa. That is not a land. Yeah, it's 11. Well, the 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're 1 short of freaking Emrakul. Okay. Well, we'll play Azusa. Do we play the Cavern? See, because then it exposes us to Kolgan's command. Or maybe we should have held the Azusa. I don't know. Well, we can definitely attack here. Getting our opponent to 5 seems fine. Let's see. If we play the land, we can... I mean, if we top deck Bounce Land, we're going to have Emrakul mana anyways, right? 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, should be fine. So, I'm just going to pass. We don't really lose anything for this. Are we going to resolve an Emrakul, please? 1 time. They do have to attack with these, so we have lethal on board, actually. They could just Unholy Heat Azusa. Oh, they hit the land drop. Oh, they're going to 4? What is this? Fatal Push a Dryad. Hopefully this Emrakul will be good enough. Hopefully. Fatal Push the other Dryad. Okay. We're about to resolve an Emrakul. Hopefully. Hopefully. Untap land or bounce land off the top is an Emrakul. Oh, wait, we have enchantment now, so we actually can just cast Emrakul. Cool. How much is this? 10 mana. 8, 9, 10. Cool. And we'll name Giant here just because we're being hopeful. And let's just hope that they have something in their hand to kill one of their own DRCs, because that's what we need. We have control of our opponent during the next turn. Are we attacking with the Azusa? I think so. We can have them bolt themselves if they have a bolt in hand. Oh my gosh, that would be such a stylish way to end this game. Are we playing... I don't think we're playing Sanctuary. Alright, what's our opponent got? Kroxa, Iteration, Ragavan. Oh, we can have them fetch Shock and kill them. Oh my gosh. Because they can pay 2 life. It's legal. Yes! Oh my gosh, what a way to win the match. Holy crap. That was insane. Oh, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, I really enjoyed that. And as you can see, we got our league value back. And honestly, I wouldn't really make any changes to the list. I think it's fine. We could have won against Hammer Time with a little better preparation against the matchup and better mulliganing skills. And Yogg is just a bad matchup, but I mean, that's what happens. Amulet has good matchups, it has bad matchups, but in my opinion, it's still the perfect 3-2 deck, or better. And yeah, I don't know what to say. It was super cool to be able to kill our opponent with Emrakul that way. Super cool. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. Let me know what you thought about that in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Redface Menace, signing off.